Zo zo bareshe.
Kharaglas.
Suswagatam.
Karibu.
Khosh Amadit.
Welcome to all dear friends and guests.
I would like to invite to this captivating event, IYC event, our guest member, to our Dean Sir, the Faculty of Management Study, faculty coordinators, our volunteers, and my fellow mates.
Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam means one earth, one family, one future is the theme of India's G20 presidency, representing the global roadmap for sustainable, inclusive, and human-centric development, inspired by an old Sanskrit scripture, the Maha Upanishad.
I believe world is a big family. A big, united, and colorful family, where its members are from different backgrounds, cultures, beliefs, and colors, like a garden with the different color flowers and fragrance.
Ladies and gentlemen, disguised guests and friends, welcome to International Youth Convention. My name is Mrunali from India, and it is my privilege to host the event along with my co-hosts.
I am Ehsanullah Ali Khail from Afghanistan.
I am Zani Win from Myanmar.
Welcome.
Before we proceed, please allow me to take a moment to extend our gratitude to our guest of honor who has graced us with the present today. I request all the dignitaries to come up and take their seat on the stage.
Big round of applause, please.
आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाश
Now, I request Professor Dr. Sunil Jakhoria to welcome Mr. Fanuel Mathia with Lucky Bamboo Plant.
I would request again to Professor Dr. Sunil Jakhoria, Dean FMS of Marwari University, to welcome Swami Atma Priyanand ji with the Lucky Bamboo Plant. Round of applause, please.
Diploma Studies. No. RB Jadeja, Dean Research and Services.
Sir, you can sit. You can sit.
We recognized the presence of Ms. Vedi Marwade, Head Project Management, Professor Dr. Shridam.
Wait a minute. R. Sridharan, Faculty of Computer Applications. सबको बुलाना है. We welcome Mr. Dhruv Marwari on the stage, please, with a round of applause.
We welcome Ms. Vidhi Marwadi to come on the stage. Please welcome him with a round of applause. Dhruv Marwadi. Sorry.
Let us invoke the blessing of Goddess Saraswati, which dispel the darkness of ignorance and bring lights of knowledge and wisdom.
I would like to invite Provost Dr. Sandeep Sancheti, Vice Chancellor, Registrar Shri Naresh Jadeja, and Dean FMS Professor Dr. Sunil Chahoria, and Professor Dr. Bijay Bojubal to do the lamp lightening. Please do the honors.
Along with the guest.
Along with the guests.
They were going to take the names, ma'am. They were going to take the names. Yes.
See,
They need
after lightning happens, what we are doing is, these people are present with us here. See, we are welcoming them. Welcome the presence of Goddess King Vidhi Marwadi. Stroke it.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
We have recognized the presence of Dr. Rajesh Patel, Principal, Diploma Studies, and Dr. R.B. Jadeja, Dean, Research and Faculty of Technology, and also Dr. Nilesh Advani, International Relations. I would like to welcome them to today's event. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, let me call our first speaker, Professor Dr. Sunil Chahoria, Dean, Faculty of Management Studies, Marwadi University. Please join me in giving him a warm welcome to the stage to present his opening remarks.
Distinguished guests, Mr. Fanuel Mathia, Minister of Trade Affairs in the High Commission of Tanzania, New Delhi, Adarniya Shri Atma Priyanand ji, Pro-Chancellor of Ramakrishna Mission Vivekanand Educational and Research Institute, deemed to be University, Kolkata, Dr. R. Balasubramaniam, Member HR in the Capacity Building Commission of the Government of India, Swami Nikleshwaranand ji, Adhyaksha, Ramakrishna Ashram, Rajkot, our Vice Chancellor, Professor Sandeep Sancheti, Mr. Dhruv Marwadi, Trustee, Marwadi University, Deans of various faculties, HODs of various departments of Marwadi University, all present faculties, colleagues, students, and everyone gathered here today. A very good morning and a warm welcome to all of you to the International Youth Convention 2023. I am indeed honored to welcome you all to this special event, which is being conducted in association with the Ramakrishna Mission Rajkot. Friends, we all know the recently concluded G20 summit held in India was a historic event, being the first time that the country hosted this forum. The summit was held under the theme One Earth, One Family, One Future, and it brought together leaders from around the world to discuss important global issues such as climate change, sustainable development, and the global economy. India's leadership in hosting the summit was widely praised, and the summit's outcomes are expected to have a positive impact on the global economy and on the lives of people around the world. Continuing with the spirit of the G20 summit, the Faculty of Management Studies decided to organize this convention with the theme Attaining the G20 Goal of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, a call to action for the youth. Friends, the event is mainly a celebration of the youthful energy, vibrant global students community, and the diversity at our campus. In particular, the objectives of the event are to engage the MU students community on a matter of global concern, to facilitate the community to confer and carve a role for themselves in ensuring the G20 goal of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, to showcase Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam in action in MU, showcasing national cultures, attires, food, music, dance, to create improved awareness and knowledge about other countries, their tourism, business, and employment potential. I am happy to inform this event is being driven by the Students' Council of FMS, and I am proud of my students for their vision and leadership in organizing this event. With over 1,500 international students from 52 countries, it would not be an exaggeration if I say we are a truly diverse campus. I am further happy to inform that more than 500 students from 20 different countries are participating in various activities in this convention. The presence of dignitaries from foreign countries, government, and spirituality have added vibrancy to this event, and I am deeply grateful to all of them for their presence. I hope you have a nice time here, you enjoy your time here. During the course of this day, we will have a variety of events, including a food festival that will feature cuisines prepared by students from different countries, and International Information Bureau kiosks, again by students from different countries, on the theme, Why Should One Visit My Country? The youthful exuberance of our student community will reach a crescendo with performances involving ethnic dance and song, followed by an ethnic fashion show. Tomorrow, we are organizing a mass signature campaign in support of the resolution of the roundtable discussion, where we are attempting to break the world record. I encourage everyone to participate in that event and in as many events as possible. The inaugural and valedictory sessions are enriched with discourses by some eminent personalities invited from diverse backgrounds such as diplomacy, governance, and spirituality. I want all of you to make the most of these. Friends, this convention is an opportunity for us to come together as a global community and discuss the challenges and opportunities that we face. It is also an opportunity for us to see that the goal of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is not merely in paper, but it is also actually achieved by all of us. I'm sure this day and tomorrow you are going to experience the vibrancy and the energy of our students in the campus. With these words, I would like to close. Thank you very much for giving me a patient hearing. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Sunil Jakhoria, sir, for giving insightful knowledge of this International Youth Convention event as a part of G20. Now, our warm and hearty invitation to Dr. Vijay Bujbal, a professor, Faculty of Management Studies at Marwadi University, who is also a Chief Advisor of Student Council, to share a brief note on International Youth Convention 2023.
Mr. Fanuel Mathia, Minister, Plenipotentiary Trade Affairs, the High Commission of Uganda in India, an eminent economist as well, not only a diplomat, Sri Swami Atmapriyanand, Pro-Chancellor of Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Educational and Research Institute, which is a deemed university in Belur Math, Kolkata. Then we have Mr. Dhruv Marwadi, young entrepreneur, our trustee member. Then we have Professor Dr. Sandeep Sancheti, our Vice Chancellor, whose words of wisdom in his trademark baritone voice never fails to inspire us. And will be joined by our dynamic registrar, Professor Naresh Jadeja, shortly. And our own inspiring leader, Dr. Sunil Kumar Jakhoria, who is a hard taskmaster in a very soft way. And we have another young academic leader in the form of Ms. Bidhi Marwadi. She takes immense interest in the students' activities, which puts extra energy and pressure on our students' council and the faculty members in charge. I welcome all of you, Sir and Ma'am, and express my heartfelt thanks for sparing your valuable time. My Dean, Dr. Sunil Kumar Jakhoria, has already given a brief note about this event. So I will rather switch to Students' Council, an experimentation that we have started this year. To all the audience present over here and our dignitaries, I wish to inform that our Student Council office bearers have been selected in a very rigorous process. There are 4 positions like President, Vice President, Secretary and Treasurer. These students have been selected based on their academic performance, their leadership abilities and ability to work in teams, their creativeness, and all the other managerial qualities that the world, the society values. The Students' Council incorporates, as of today, 4 student activity clubs, namely the Cultural Club, the Finance Club, Marketing Club, and HR Club. So all these 4 clubs have put together different sub-events of this mega event, International Youth Convention 2023. They have brought a number of innovations. When I say innovations, it's compared to our past practices to this convention. The first thing is that we have invited a diplomat, an economist of international repute from one of the countries from where we have maximum number of international students, that is Tanzania. Then we have invited a spiritual leader in the shape of Swami Atmapriyananda and Swami Nikhleswarananda. We have also invited a guest from the government, Dr. R. Balakrishnan, who is the member HR of Capacity Building Commission of Government of India. If you are wondering what is Capacity Building Commission, let me tell you, it builds the capacity or administrative skills of senior functionaries from the government, that is civil services, state civil services, public enterprises. In a very short period of, I think, 5 or 6 years, it has trained almost 1 lakh such functionaries from diverse fields in the country. So, such a powerful body, and we have invited the member HR from there. So, it is a diverse mix of guests who will be sharing their views before you for your benefit. So, that is one innovation, and there are some small innovations. I will quickly list them. For the first time, the students have prepared some pre-publicity, snippets, audio snippets. We have something called a forum called MU Talk. So the views of our Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor Sandeep sir, our Dean sir, mine, and the top functionaries of the Student Council. They have been recorded, and it has been put in the social media. These proceedings are being webcast in YouTube through a QR code. So that is another first time for this, for the students' body. And the world record breaking attempt that will happen tomorrow in support of the resolution that is taken in the roundtable discussion today. So that is another innovation, I would say. It is a fun event, and an event to make the students, make the youth, not only students, but the youth among all of us, to make aware of them the global concern that is in front of us. So with these few words, and this whole event has been put together by the Student Council members. They have worked hard to make this event a success. So I request the blessings of all the dignitaries and all those who are present here, best wishes for the members of our Student Council. Thank you very much.
We extend our heartfelt thanks to Professor Dr. Bijay Bojbal for giving a brief note on International Youth Convention. I would like to use this chance to welcome Professor Dr. R. Shridharam, Dean Academics, Dean Faculty of Computer Application to International Youth Convention 2023. Now allow me to invite our next speaker, Professor Dr. Sandeep Sancheti, Honorable Vice Chancellor.
Days once in a month or sometimes twice in a month, where there are a series of events where they introduce themselves with their background, their freedom struggle, their culture, their food, their traditions, and various other things. And it's always an excitement. I always see the houses full. Whenever a country is celebrating such an event, the remaining other countries also come participate, and they celebrate culturally, socially, or maybe various other forms which are there. And obviously our international setup helps them celebrate those events, cut the cakes, talk about their leadership, and sometimes invite those leaders, as was done and as has been done today also, that we invite people from international domain. And so that's something very good. But here I must also say that we feel proud that we are an integral part of G20 in one sense, that G20 events in India especially, of course even now we have the leadership, it will be transferred only in November. So we can say that we still continue to be in the same boat, but we have conducted more than 200 events throughout the country. Events have happened throughout all the states and UTs of the countries, which is there, including J&K and other northeast part, which sometimes is considered a little remote. Everywhere such events have happened. Gujarat was also one of the leaders where these things happened in good number. And what I want to tell you is Gujarat as a state decided, I know about Gujarat so I can say, I don't know if other states replicated or followed that model. And you will be surprised to know that Gujarat decided that for every such event, they should have student volunteers. And student volunteers would be from those G20 countries and the other invited countries, which were 9. Those countries, if the students are there, they will be invited to become the volunteers. They actually wanted some numbers, which I don't know, but they ended up selecting 500 volunteers throughout the Gujarat from all the institutions. And by the way, Gujarat today has 95 plus universities and large number of institutions. So they selected 500 volunteers to be representing Gujarat as a state on those forums or on those meetings. And the most interesting and the proud part for Marwadi University is that 291 students out of 500 were our own students representing those. So we had far more than the fair share when it comes to the students representing the domain of G20. And I think similar things happened that 26th of January this year when we celebrated. We had something like 9 countries or 10 countries which are represented on our campus. They delivered talk about their own country on 26th January here by giving a message. They first spoke in their own language, and then the language was translated so that if there is a challenge, others can understand. I think that is the kind of presence and that is the kind of respect we give to the diversity and to our friends from the international domain. No doubt that some of the seeds of some of the events which we are going to do or which we are doing right now have been sown some time back, but it's culminating into a very, very big event now today in form of International Youth Convention. Some of the things like food festivals, in part we have done sometimes here and there, but we want to make it big, and I'm sure you're going to all enjoy that. I think similarly the festival in terms of fashion and design and clothing and ethnic wears and all that generally happens in the evenings which I referred to, the monthly, when the nations which are celebrating their days come in their ethnic wear and all that. Those things also do happen. Various other things are also being planned by our team of IYC in terms of nature of events, but one of the important event is knowing each other, learning from each other, appreciating each other, tolerating each other, helping each other. I think that's the beauty. Yes, we know that Government of India is now very open for what we call internationalization. We want internationalization, not necessarily to earn the money or charge the money, which generally happens in some of the advanced countries, where if people like you and me go there, we'll be paying thousands and thousands of dollars, or maybe tens of $20,000, $30,000. But that is not the case in India, and certainly not the case in Marwadi, and that is the result of this, that we attract good number of students, we deliver a good quality, and we maintain the diversity. And that helps everyone. Not only that, we facilitate the trade exchanges between those countries and between our place here in Gujarat, particularly in Rajkot. We arrange their meetings and whatnot. So all those things are happening. And therefore, I call this principle of internationalization at home. When I call it internationalization at home, I by that I mean that our fee, our charges are highly reasonable, more or less similar to the Indian students. The reason for that is if I have 15% students which are from international domain, which is the case for Marwadi right now, and which is what Government of India allows us, that we can have 15%. So we have around 15% students from what you call the international domain. And those 15%, when added to the remaining 85%, all the 85% students also get exposed to the international domain very, very nicely. They also know what are the requirements of different countries, what are the challenges they are facing, what kind of leadership they have, and what kind of market or business potential they have, and various other things which can make you succeed in life. And that's important because world is getting shrunk. The world is now a global village, as we call. And in a global village, if you live, I think the tradition was in a village or a small village, everyone ought to know each other. Everyone ought to know about each other, what their requirements and other things are. And therefore, in this global village, you ought to know everything about each other so that you can help each other and live peacefully. And it is with this aim, I think these events are going to be the stepping stone for all of us, those who are present and those who are going to participate. And of course, for fun and for celebration and for what you call remembrance that how successfully we organize. I think there is a plan by the organizers for what you call some Guinness record, etc. also. So various things are there. So my dear friends, I'll not take much of time now, but I wish you good luck. I wish you all the success and happiness in attending, participating, and facilitating this particular event. Do whatever you like, learn whatever you like, and propagate it further. Make the Marwadi to be a very happy institution in terms of your existence and growth. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Sandeep Sancheti, for dispersing wisdom about many things. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and IYC and many other things which are very useful for us. At this moment, I intend to extend an invitation to our guest, Mr. Fanwal Mathia, High Commission of a United Republic of Tanzania, New Delhi. Let me give a big introduction of Mr. Fanwal Mathia. He is holding BA Economics and Master degree in Transport Economics. He was employed by the Ministry of Works in Tanzania as Economist 2 on October 1998, and he got promoted as an Assistant Director in Policy and Planning Department in 2013. Also, he was promoted as a coordinator to the Office of the Chief Secretary, United Republic of Tanzania. In 2022, January, he got transferred to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then in 2023, January, he was advanced to the Tanzania High Commission in New Delhi. Now, I would like to welcome Mr. Fanwal Mathia to give inaugural address.
Shri Swami Chancellor, Mission of Vikendra Education and Research Institute, deemed to be university. Professor Sandeep, Vice Chancellor of Marwadi University. Professor Naresh, Registrar of Marwadi University. Professor Sunil, Dean of Faculty of Management Studies in Marwadi University. Professor Vijay, Faculty of Management Studies, Marwadi University. Professor, I'm not sure if he's here, Balasuma Brahmani, member of Human Resources in the Capacity Building Commission of the Government of India, and visiting professor at Cornell University in USA and IIT Delhi. Professor Nelish Advani, Professor Nilesh Advani, Deputy Director, International Relations, University of Marwadi, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. At this outset, I would like to inform that I am standing before you to speak on behalf of our High Excellency Anissa Mbega, Tanzania High Commissioner to India, who unfortunately could not be here with us today for reasons that are beyond her control. Therefore, she asked me to represent her and submit her warm greetings from the Tanzania High Commission in New Delhi. Her Excellency also asked me to convey her best wishes for this International Youth Convention 2023. Though she missed this one, she promised she'll find another time to visit Marwadi University. Professor Nelish and I will make follow-up of that promise. So we'll remind each other, Professor, so that she can participate in one of the events next time. Pro-Chancellor, let me take this opportunity to congratulate the whole family of Marwadi University for grooming our young students in academics, ethics, and morally. Furthermore, I congratulate the government of India for the presidency of the G20, which was held on 9th to 10th September this month. And apart from the summit, there was a successful hosting of numerous sectoral meetings throughout the year of 2023. Just to remind the history of G20, the first G20 summit was held in Washington, D.C., in the United States of America from 14th to 15th November 2008. In the year 2009, America also hosted the G20, and this one is the 18th summit. This 2023 is the 18th summit, which was held here in India. The main theme for G20 of this year in Hindi is called Vasudhaiva, Kutumbakam, which translates to one earth, one family, and one future. The G20 countries together contribute about 90% of global GDP, 80% of global trade, and 2/3 of the world's population. So in total, there are about 4.9 billion population. The G20 Summit 2023 theme is taken from a famous ancient Sanskrit text of Maha Upanishad, which means earth is a family. Essentially, this means the theme concludes the value of all forms of life, human, animal, and plant, and microorganism, and in their interconnection, which are Earth and the wider universe. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the G20, which was held in New Delhi from 9th to 10th September this year, made numerous declarations, including to have a strong, sustainable, and inclusive economic growth, acceleration, progress on sustainable development goals by year 2030, Green Development Pact for Sustainable Future, addressing challenges facing multilateral institutions, technological transformation, and digital public infrastructure. Also, one of the declarations is addressing the issue of international taxation, gender equality, and empowering women and girls, addressing issue of corruption, counterterrorism, and money laundering, and creating more inclusive world. Distinguished guests, the G20 leaders agreed the inclusion of Africa. So that is the theme itself, that we have to be inclusive. The AU countries, there are about 55 countries with a population of 1.4 billion and GDP of about 2.96 trillion. They have been admitted in G20. Yeah, the leaders of G20 have admitted AU union countries, as I said, 55 countries, and to be the permanent member of G20. The main reason for this is to create a more inclusive world, and in line with the theme of G20, that is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that all individuals, regardless of our nationality, religion, cultural background, are part of one global family. That means one earth, one family, one future. We need each other, or we can say interdependence, in the agenda for development. The G20 theme is also fitting the Kiswahili saying, umoja ni nguvu, utengano ni udhaifu. That means together we are strong, divided we fall. As one family, we will significantly contribute to addressing the global challenges in our time. We commend the effort of all G20 members for admission of the African Union into G20. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we thank particularly the government of India under the outstanding leadership of His Excellency Shri Narendra Modi ji, the Prime Minister of India, for the theme that made easy acceptance of African Union into G20, so that we can collectively address the challenges facing the world, including those in Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, by 2030. There are about 19 goals in total. I need not to mention all of them, but there are 17 in total. Goal 1 is about reduction of poverty, up to goal 17, which is strengthening the means of implementation and revitalization of global partnership. Distinguished guests, the Sustainable Development Goals are being implemented by all countries in the world, and thus it ties with the theme of G20, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The G20 summit The theme of it is fitting the implementation of Goal 17 of the SDG, which I just mentioned, that is concern of global partnership for sustainable development. Dear youth, the purpose of this international convention for this year, 2023, is to celebrate the success of India as a G20 presidency, to honor the spectacular conclusion of the G20 summit on 10th September this year, which was held in New Delhi under the visionary statesman, the Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, as I alluded earlier. Furthermore, the Youth Convention is an occasion to consider and deliberate over the G20 theme, which says Vasudhaiva, Kutumbakam, and we'll have an opportunity to manifest the collective energy, range of talents and potentials of vibrant and diverse India and international students, which I'm told there are about 1,700. Thank you. You will showcase your national culture, attire, food, music, dance, as the Vice Chancellor has just mentioned in his remark. Create awareness about tourism, business, employment potentials in our respective countries. As we are doing this, remember the theme of G20, which means Vasundakam, Kabuntakam, which means we are all family, regardless of our backgrounds, nationality, tribes, and religion, etc., etc. I congratulate the students who have organized this event, the convention. The management here are just supervising, so in so doing they are nurturing our young fellows. I hope all international students have participated. Yes? Good. Okay, good. Congratulations, all of you, for organizing this. Very nice. Keep it up, yeah? Dear youth, I take this opportunity to encourage all of you to study hard, taking into account that as one family, you are expected to use your knowledge and expertise in addressing, you can see, yeah. I take this opportunity to encourage all of you to study hard, taking into account that as one family, you are expected to use your knowledge and expertise in addressing challenges facing our world in this fourth industrial revolution. Just to remind you, the first industrial revolution in 1784, we were using water and steam to power mechanized production. The second industrial revolution was in 1870, used electricity to create mass production. The third one, 1969, which is people were using electronic and information technology to automate production. This fourth industrial revolution we are in now is just building on the third industrial revolution. So now we are going, some have already started the digital revolution, others we are following. Dear youth, let me further urge you to avoid some bad habits. I will just mention few. I'm not saying you are doing that, but just to remind you that you should not be involved in alcoholism, taking all forms of illicit drugs. As you know, it is easier to get into those, but getting out is so difficult because of addiction. Other effects of using drugs and health deterioration, wastage of time, absconding from college, because if you are in that stage, then it's very easy to lose your track. You will be also wasting the resources of particularly money of your parents or the sponsors, if maybe government or other institution. You are expected to demonstrate ethics and good morals among yourselves and the whole society you are living. We all believe in God, so I encourage you to continue in prayers according to your religion and denomination. You know, God is one of everything, and we should worship. This morning when I was coming, Professor Nilesh showed me the people were worshiping down there. It's Lord Krishna. Yes, Lord Ganesh. Lord Ganesh. So I encourage you to participate in prayers. Pro-Chancellor, the High Commission sometimes receive challenges facing our students who are studying in various universities here in India. We are collaborating with particular universities where there is challenges as we receive from students. I will just mention a few challenges and what we are proposing. I'm not sure if they occur in your university, but let me just mention, if it is, then we will see how to handle it. One is on visa. Our observation is that visa regime sometimes is not tailored to accommodate the graduation of students. It sometimes expires. The visa expires just after examination. Our recommendation on that is that universities need to facilitate visa for the complete duration of study up to graduation and getting certificates. For students and other diaspora who overstayed without a visa or resident permit, they are subjected to pay penalty when they apply for exit permit. So in case this situation is here, you can see how to address it. The other one is an cost for resident permits. Sometimes recruitment agencies who are bringing students here in various universities, they don't bring up the foreign FRRO issue, Foreigners Registration Office process that students can be aware of its cost implication. We will keep on advising agencies to give more clarity on processes of FRRO. I know sometimes universities have, I didn't ask Professor Nilesh about if you have office for FRRO. Maybe later I will talk to him. And the other thing we are proposing is facilitation from the universities, not only here, but all universities and institutions in India. As you know, in most cases, visa is issued, it is indicated in the passport that you are going to this institute or university. So changing maybe due to genuine reasons, maybe some lecturers are using Hindi or whatever, students cannot follow that language. So they may ask for transfer. Some are saying that it's very difficult to get a no objection certificate, NOC in short. So we are requesting you to facilitate if there's a genuine reason for transferring to other universities. There are other issues on insurance cover. We request universities to put the appropriate health insurance to cover all that is accepted by Indian hospitals. Pro-Chancellor, it is my hope that the Mariwadi University will analyze these recommendations. I'll give the speech of High Excellency to Dr. Nilesh. He will try to go through and see where you can assist. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I once again congratulate the management of Mariwadi University for organizing International Youth Convention 2023. I'm optimistic that the community of Mariwadi University students will improve awareness and knowledge, inform commitment to the goals of Vasudhaiva, Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future. Distinguished guests, with these few remarks, on behalf of Her Excellency Anisa Mbega, Tanzania Commission, I have honor and privilege to declare that this International Youth Convention is inaugurated, opened. Thank you for your listening.
Our heartfelt gratitude for your esteemed presence and address at our event, sir. Your participation added immense value and prestige to the occasion. Your insightful address inspired and enlightened our audience, and your presence is truly an honor. Moving forward, it is with great pleasure and honor for me to introduce a distinguished guest who has joined us today, Swami Atmapriyanand ji. Let me introduce Swami ji to you, who has agreed to give a keynote address on the role of education in promoting the value of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Swami Atmapriyanand ji is presently the Pro-Chancellor and Secretary of Ramakrishna Mission, Vivekananda Educational and Research Institute, Kolkata, a deemed to be university by the Government of India, established in July 2005 by Ramakrishna Mission. Swamiji was the first Vice-Chancellor of this university and served it since inception for nearly 15 years as Vice-Chancellor. Taking about his education, Swamiji received his MSc in Physics with specialization in nuclear physics from the Presidency College, Chennai. Swamiji is PhD in theoretical physics from the University of Madras, India, with the study on high energy physics, that is elementary particle theory, and has number of research publication in his name published in reputed international journals. Inspired by Ramakrishna Vivekananda ideology, he joined the Ramakrishna Order of Monks in 1978. He was posted at Ramakrishna Mission Vidya Mandira, a premier college of Ramakrishna Mission at Bellur Mutt, Havda, where he taught physics for nearly 25 years. Besides being involved in academic administration as vice principal and principal of college for 19 years. Swamiji was awarded DSc Honoris Causa in 2021 by IIT Kharagpur and D.Litt Honoris Causa in 2022 by Central University of Assam for his outstanding contribution in the field of education and service to society and humanity. In May 2023, Asiatic Society, Kolkata, a 240 years old organization declared by the Government of India as an institution of national importance, awarded him the honor of Fellow of the Asiatic Society. Swamiji served in various committees held by Government of India, University Grant Commission, and Government of West Bengal at different capacities. Swamiji is involved as a council member or invited participant with various global organizations which promotes children's welfare, peace and harmony. Swamiji has traveled extensively in India and abroad to deliver lecture, participates in conference and dialogues and many more at various institutes, organizations and university. Swami Atmapriyanandaji also interacts closely with world religious leaders like H.H. Dalai Lama, particularly in his work through Mind and Life Institute, wherein an attempt is being made to scientifically vet, document, understand the various neurophysiological changes that occur during meditation and spiritually elevated states of consciousness, particularly from the Buddhist perspective. During the decade 2008 to 2019, Swamiji made many trips in India and abroad, preaching the message of harmony and peace based on Yoga Vedanta, the eternal ancient Indian wisdom, Sanatan Dharma. Swamiji, I welcome you to address our audience, please. I also welcome Janvi ma'am to be on the dais, please.
We welcome Janvi ma'am to the event, ma'am. Swamiji, please.
How much time do we have? Sir, 1 hour. From now? 1 hour. From now? From now?
Yeah.
I usually ask the organizers, how much time do I have? And out of courtesy, people say, oh, you have come from so far away, please speak as long as you like. This reminds me of an incident which happened long ago. There's a conference of vice chancellors in Bangkok. A UGC team had gone, I was also a part of it. The inaugurator was the Chancellor of Oxford, a very knowledgeable and witty person. What he said, always I remember. He said the following: I went to an international conference and asked the audience, how long should I speak? They said, sir, you have come from far away and you are such a learned person. Please do speak as long as you can, as long as you like. But we are leaving after half an hour. So a speaker should not be carried away by what the organizers say. Please speak. I keep looking at the audience, particularly young boys and girls, their faces. And the challenge of a speaker is to keep everybody awake, attentive, and not constantly browsing the internet, sitting in corners. This is a great challenge. So we'll begin on a serious note. May we begin, as we traditionally do, ancient Indian tradition, by chanting a Shanti mantra. This is in Sanskrit. Shanti mantras are peace chants which prefix and suffix every Upanishad. Upanishad is Vedanta, end of the Vedas. And every Upanishad begins with the Shanti mantra and ends with the Shanti mantra. The mantra which I am going to chant is from the Kathopanishad. Swami Vivekananda, as you know, was very fond of this Upanishad because it involves a young boy, like most of you here, Nachiketa, who dared to meet the god of death. Who dared to meet Yama himself to ask about the secret of death and what happens after death, and the Atma Vidya, the science of the Atman. This is a chant which is chanted together by the teacher, the Acharya, the Guru, and the disciple, the Sishya or a student. This talks about how education is a joint venture. The teacher and the taught together pray, and they pray to the Supreme Being by whatever name called, for revealing to us the true nature of knowledge, and again to reveal the application of the knowledge. Mere theoretical knowledge may be useful, but not enough. It should be put into practice. And mere practical application is also not useful unless you know the theoretical background. So theoretical sciences and applied sciences, theoretical knowledge and the application, science and technology together enrich our lives. And it ends with a very beautiful note which is very relevant in the present educational scenario, not only in India but also abroad, that they please let us not have any dissension, disharmony. The teacher and the student together sign a covenant, as it were, to say that they shall not quarrel in the midst of the teaching learning process. This is extremely important because the student should have respect for the teacher, and equally the teacher also should respect the student. I'm extremely happy that this university has taken a unique initiative in empowering the student community. The entire thing is being arranged by the students, and I can see students everywhere standing in the corners to ensure that there is no chaos. I know the psychology of students. Listening to long talks is really boring, we know. We also went through this process. But students themselves are sitting at corners and saying, "Hey, listen." So students being empowered to do all this is an extraordinary thing in these days. And the students empowering themselves to be able to organize such events and take this university forward in a very unique way, and congratulate the Vice Chancellor, the Provost, and his learned colleagues, the administration, everybody in this Marwari University. And I don't mention the dignitaries one by one, the special guest from Tanzania, and all the faculty in the Vice Chancellor administration, and my dear students. Here I begin. They have said you can speak for 1 hour. I will see that I'll speak less than that, and if any questions, I can take those questions. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत्. May the Supreme Being protect us both, the teacher and the disciple, by revealing to us the true nature of knowledge. May the Supreme Being protect us both, the teacher and the disciple, by revealing to us the application of that knowledge. May we both strive together for the acquisition of knowledge. May the knowledge and the wisdom that we acquire be effective and illuminative. May there be no dissension or disharmony between us. Om, peace, peace, peace. The subject on which I'm supposed to be speaking today is the values which drive the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam concept, which has been chosen as the theme for the G20 presidency. India has been given this opportunity to lead this G20 this year. As you know, it's a huge, grand event, and India showcased itself as a very progressive society in the modern terms, at the same time rooted in the ancient Indian culture. The term value is being talked about now. Everybody talks about values, modern values, the values in education, value-oriented education, value-based education, value-rooted education. Value is a word which is borrowed from economics. It is not an Indian word, as you know. Value and price are two different things in economics. In economics was awarded Nobel Prize for this discovery, I was told. You must have heard of Professor Kaushik Basu. Most of you, I don't know, perhaps you know. He was the vice president of World Bank till recently. He was the first PhD student of Amartya Sen. Of course, all of you know Amartya Sen. Kaushik Basu himself is a brilliant economist. In a convocation address which he gave at our university, he said, value and price are two different things. You may value something whose price is very small, and something which may not be of very value at all can be priced very high. In fact, he quoted from Swami Vivekananda in one of his letters. Swamiji gives a very interesting story. The story is as follows. There is a young boy who desperately wanted to marry one beautiful girl. But his father, the girl's father, would not allow this boy to marry. He said, unless you can show me you have $1 million, I will not give my daughter in marriage to you. He said, where will I get $1 million? He was frantically moving here and there, crying. Then one of the matchmakers, you know matchmakers? You can make advertisements in the newspapers. Of course, you are sufficiently young not to be able to show that advertisement. One of the matchmakers came and said, what's the problem? Why are you crying? Sir, this is the problem. Where will I get $1 million? I will solve the problem for you. You have such a beautiful nose. Yes, sir. People say I have a fine nose. Can you give your nose? I'll give you $2 million. Then I got furious. What? You want to cut my nose? At no cost. Even if you get 10 million, I will not give my nose to you. Are you kidding? Got furious. He smiled and walked away. Went to that girl's father. Sir, I went and met this gentleman who wants to marry your daughter. He has $10 million worth property. He said, so are you kidding? No, sir, I myself personally saw. He showed me the property which he possesses, which is more than 10 million. I believe you. And then he gave his daughter in marriage. Where is that? My nose. What is the value of your body? Suppose the doctor comes and tells you, your feet have to be amputated, there's a very serious gangrene there, but you will survive. What will you say? No, I don't want to survive, take away my feet. I will not give my feet. Will you say that? Because your body is more precious to you than your feet. So my nose is precious, I don't want to give it away, even if you pay $1 billion. This is the value. I attach a huge amount of value to my nose, and the price of that may not be very big. This is the difference between spirituality and materialism. Carefully listen. A couple of years ago, there was an announcement in the newspapers that a broken pen in England was auctioned for several million pounds. The actual price of that pen, the present valuational scheme, will be not even £0.50. But this pen was purchased in auction for several million pounds. Why? Because that was the pen used by Shakespeare when he wrote his famous dramas and sonnets. A bat which is signed by the Indian cricket team is sent for auction. People buy like mad. What is the price of that bat? An old stick, a bamboo stick, is worshipped at Beluru Math in Ramakrishna Mission headquarters, from which I come every day. It's considered invaluable for us. We will not part with that stick even somebody pays us several crore of rupees. Why? The price of the stick may not be even 5 rupees. But the value of the stick is huge because Swami Vivekananda used that stick when he was moving as a Parivrajaka over India. What does that mean? Analyze this. A stick which is a piece of matter whose price is very small is imparted value which is very huge by a person, by the spirit which is called Swami Vivekananda. A pen whose price is extremely low, a broken pen at that, has been imparted value by a person called Shakespeare. Which means spirit can give value to matter, which you call spirituality. And if you believe matter gives value to the spirit, you are a materialist. Simple. I feel I'm very valuable. I feel I'm so great because I possess so many cars, so much of money, so many palaces, and I'm the richest man on earth. So I think I become extremely valuable because I have been given value by matter. When you feel that matter gives value to spirit, it is materialism. When you know it is spirit which gives value to matter, it is spirituality. I'll give you another story. It's an actual story which happened in my life. You know the tsunami which struck in 2001, many of you must have been very young, maybe children at that time. We saw what a devastating tsunami came in 2001. One of my students who studied in Beluru Math, he was posted to Andaman and Nicobar Islands, having a very responsible big job there. Suddenly appeared in my office and started shedding tears. Oh, the Lord has saved me, Lord has saved me and my wife. I lost everything. I lost everything and the Lord has saved. What does that mean? A huge wave was chasing me in the Andaman. It was 30, 40 feet high and was coming towards our house. We saw it from a distance. I told my wife, come on, come down immediately, rush, run and run. Some of my friends now picking up their laptops, their mobile phones, They were washed away. My wife and I ran and ran for our lives, finally could get hold of some very high-rise building and escaped. He came back to Calcutta only to say that I just have nothing on my body, only the clothes which you are wearing. He was overjoyed, delighted, shedding tears of joy for the grace that God has given to him for having survived. Now I ask your young friends here, look at this story. A person who lost everything is so overjoyed. Why? Because his life is saved. So what do you think is more valuable? Your money, your possessions, your laptops, and your mobile phones, your bank balance? Please conclude by 11:45, I think. Oh, I've just begun. Oh, 11:30 now. 11:30 now? 20 minutes. So I told you in the beginning, sir, speak as long as you like. I know the constraints of time. Now, a person who lost everything, all the possessions, is happy because he did not lose himself. This is the value which has been taught in the Upanishads, in the Indian scriptures, and all the religious literature. Bible also talks about it. Even if you get everything on the earth as your possession, but you lost your soul, what is that to you? Some of you must have heard of Carl Jung. Carl Jung is a famous psychologist. He was a disciple of Sigmund Freud. Of course, he cut away from Freud. He wrote a beautiful book, Modern Man in Search of His Soul. We want to gain many things, but we have lost ourselves. What is now required to recover our own selves? You have to recover yourself so that you can be sane and happy. Everybody is chasing happiness. What is the most important urge in human life? Sigmund Freud also said this. Adler said something else. Viktor Frankl said the third thing. All the psychologists have been asking a simple question. What is it that we seek in life? Every one of you should also ask yourself this question. You can't postpone it too long. What is it you're seeking in life? You finish your +2, they get into some college or a university. You finish maybe 4 years, 5 years, then what? Then go for research, then what? Go for something else, search for a job in India and abroad, then what? The question, then what, will keep chasing you because you can't postpone it for too long. What is it that will give you happiness in life? The Upanishadic statement in the Chandogya Upanishad says, nothing which is finite will give you happiness. Look at this statement. Anything which is finite. What is finite? Limited. Limited by space or limited by time. These are the only things which limit. What are the things in life which limit you? This room is constructed here. The huge space. There are several 4 walls, and the space has been limited and a room has been created. Limited by time. You begin by saying, sir, you can speak for 1 hour. Then the slip saying, please conclude soon. Limited by time. So every point, time and space limit you. Do you agree? If anybody has anything else, please argue. Argue this out. Vedanta has been questioned by hundreds of thousands of people over the millennia. These questions have been answered, don't worry. Limitation means limitation by space, limitation by time. Anything which is limited will change. Follow the logic. Anything which is limited will change. Anything which changes cannot be depended upon. You have a friend, you have a job in your office, but suddenly it changes. He or she changes and you cry. At the office in which you work, the situation becomes different, you cry. So limitation always in terms of space and time. From India, you cross over to Dubai, because when you go to the west, you have to take flights from Dubai or Abu Dhabi. The moment you reach Dubai or Abu Dhabi, all the few thousand rupees which you will have in your pocket will not fetch you one cup of coffee. Because you should need the currency note. The moment you change your places, the value of the currency notes in rupees which you have lose their value. Or 8th of November, a couple of years ago, everybody stored so many 1,000 rupee notes. The next day, they found they are valueless. Demonetization. What does it mean? In time. Time changes, your whole thing is gone. So the change takes place in time and space. Finiteness is in terms of time and space. Therefore, if you are seeking something which is not finite, which is infinite, that has to be beyond time and beyond space. That cannot be restricted by time and space if it is infinite. Only such a thing will give you happiness. Why? Because anything which is finite gives you happiness. That finite thing is subject to change. Today it gives you happiness, tomorrow it doesn't. I come from a state, people are very fond of sweets, all kinds of sweets. You know, there are famous Rasagulla, which is disputed between Orissa and Bengal. All kinds of sweets. After some years, doctor says, you are highly diabetic. Stop all sweets. Perhaps the next Janma, we believe in Punarjanma. Next Janma, you will be born as the owner of a best sweet shop, but you are highly diabetic. So, age, time has changed, and my happiness is gone now. I can't relish sweets anymore. How much can you enjoy? We say we should enjoy. Young boys and girls, we should enjoy. How long and how much? 50 years, 60 years? You can't enjoy beyond a limit because your body is going to decay. Your senses are going to be extremely fragile. And there is so much of change. What you liked and enjoyed some years ago, you can't like and enjoy anymore. So is there something which can be perpetually giving me joy? This is a simple question we have to ask. Because we are asking a very fundamental question. What is it that can give me joy and happiness? The value which everybody is seeking is happiness. So is there joy? Is there some happiness which is timeless beyond space? Wherever you go in the world, you will feel joyful. It is independent of space. Whenever you taste it, whenever you experience it, you will feel joyful. Obviously, that cannot be space-time dependent, and it cannot be sensual, because senses are also changing every moment. So that kind of joy necessarily, logically, is seen to be something which is sense-independent, space-time independent. Space-time independent, sense-independent joy is what ultimately will give you eternal joy. And that cannot be finite, because anything is finite is going to change. And therefore the Chandogya Upanishad declares, Yad bhuma vai tat sukham na alpe sukham asti. Alpa, which is small, cannot be a source of joy. Bhuma, infinite alone, will give you joy. So that which draws your whole being, that gives you joy, that is your natural state. What is your most natural state? Physics and mathematics and chemistry will tell you that the state of maximum stability is a state which is the lowest energy state. If the energy level is the lowest, they say it is the most stable state. Why? Because the energy is high, the energy will be dissipated. If your pocket is full in the first week of the month, then you become restless, you take your friends, you party, you go to movies, but slowly your pocket becomes depleted and you become calm down, you don't go out. Why don't you go out? Pocket is empty. The energy level, if it's very high, then you become restless more. That is the problem with youth. The youth has tremendous energy, and therefore there is a natural law which says you ought to be restless. Why? Because the energy has to be dissipated. Now, the most fundamental value which India has talked about is that you should never dissipate your energy for nothing. Remember this very important theorem. No energy should be unnecessarily dissipated. You know the conservation of energy principle? Studied in school. Energy can never be created or destroyed. It can be transformed from one form to another. Shakti Samrakshana Niti. All of us studied in school. So energy has to be conserved for what? For higher things. Tremendous energy is required for anything to be achieved. We watch the television, we watch games, cricket, chess, soccer, and we laud the people who hit a century or take wickets. But do you know how much of toil, blood, toil, tears and sweat, this is a statement of Winston Churchill about Second World War. Blood, toil, tears and sweat. How much of exercise, how much of restraint, self-restraint they have had to go. There was a time when we were young, when we were watching cricket, every time India had to lose. Then said, what is the problem? India is losing every time with so much of talent. Then they found out because of lack of self-control. Whole night they are partying and coming back and standing in the first slip and yawning when the catch is going there. So you have to control your senses in order to achieve anything great. Maybe in sports, maybe in singing, maybe in anything else. Our Chopra, who is now the star now in the javelin, do you know how much of practice he goes through? He denies himself many things. Sindhu, you know Sindhu? Badminton? Honorable Prime Minister said, Sindhu, you have brought so much glory to our country, you come, I'll give you ice cream. She was longing to have ice cream. Her coach Gopinath said, no ice cream till you win the match. Because you can't put on more weight and you can't be careless about the food that you eat. You have to be restrained in regard to food. The cricket team, the coaches are extremely powerful, extremely careful. You have to come back and sleep at 10 o'clock. The students always complain. You are keeping us like jailers. I can't do this, I can't go out. We say come back and sleep in time, get up early in the morning. My freedom. What kind of freedom are you talking about? You are slaves to your senses. My eye says, go on watching the television whole night and fail in the exam tomorrow. My ear says, poor ears which are open all the time. God has given us ears which are open. You plug it throughout the day. I feel very sad sometimes when young boys and girls plug their ears 24 times in a day. Release it. Let the ears be happy. Your tongue is constantly asking for junk food and fast food. And you say you are free. Now the latest slogan everywhere among students, freedom of expression. What kind of freedom do you need? Do you want freedom of the senses or freedom from the senses? We should be masters. My tongue, my ear, my eyes, they would come and ask me, sir, can I take a little more of that ice cream? No, you should not. I will command. I shall be the master of my own body, my own senses, my own mind, and I will not be a slave to my mind. This is freedom. we have not understood what is freedom and what is bondage. The Bhagavad Gita defines this. Bandham moksham chayaveti buddhi saha partha satviki. Satviki buddhi is which tells you what is freedom and what is bondage. Mistakenly we think we need freedom. The kind of freedom which everybody is having, creating a whole mess about everything. To be able to excel in anything in life, be it studies, be it sports, be it singing, the great singers. We talk about Lata Mangeshkar, we talk about the great singers. How much of practice they have gone through, do you know? They cannot eat anything cold. They cannot have ice cream, they cannot have a cold drink. I know many of the singers, they will not. Even though they want it, the tongue is clamoring for some ice cream and said, no, they can't sing anymore. To be able to protect their singing, they sacrifice. Without sacrifice, nothing can be done in this world. Take it from me. You have to go through tremendous sacrifice for achieving anything. And that sacrifice is called in Bhagavad Gita as yajna. Swaha, swaha, swaha. Swaha means I sacrifice, I sacrifice, I sacrifice. You have to sacrifice the individual, the limited, for the sake of achieving something which is big. The small should be sacrificed in order to achieve something bigger. Suppose you take a fish from the water, put it on a throne, decorate it, and then say, you are the king of our whole country. What will the fish do? I don't want to be here, please put me into water. No laurel, no medals are necessary for that fish because it wants its own abode. To be conquering your own self is the greatest achievement that you can have. And that is why sannyasis, those who restrained themselves, who conquered themselves, are called Maharaja. In India it's very common. Maharaja, they're not ordinary Rajas. Ordinary Raja can rule a kingdom outside. But a Maharaja rules the kingdom which is himself. Jesus the Christ called himself the king of the Jews. And the Jewish king was so annoyed. Are you the king of the Jews? He said, my kingdom is not of the earth. So you conquer the inner camp, your body, your mind, and your intellect have been given to God. You may earn money, but the body which God has given you, nature has given you, cannot be replicated. However much you try, doctors are trying and trying, they cannot. An extraordinary machine that has been given to you called the human body, protect it well. God has given you beautiful lungs, wonderful air, fresh air blowing, and you say, I will fill my lungs with smoke. I am free. Don't tell me not to smoke. I'm not telling you not to smoke. I'm only telling you don't spoil your lungs which God has given you. These precious lungs. How many boys and girls through smoking have then bypass surgery? The whole artery full of nicotine. Are you buying cancer, wasting your body and mind? Remember, your body and mind are very, very precious. Extremely precious. You will not know at this age. As you grow older, you will know. Your habits now, your self-restraint, your Atma Maryada, protect yourself. The Bhagavad Gita says, Uddhared Atmanatmanam Natmanam Avasadayet Atmaiva Atmano Bandhu Atmaiva Rupuratmanaha. 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. You have the Gita, look at the 6th chapter, look at this verse. If you don't have the Gita, purchase one. Now, today. You have to elevate yourself by yourself. Nobody can elevate you. And don't demean yourself. Don't take your mind and body low. Don't think low thoughts. Don't think vulgar thoughts. Elevating high thoughts you think. You'll be fresh and you'll be happy. Because you are your own friend, you are your own enemy. You have to decide when, I'm ending. You have to decide whether you will be your own friend or you will be your own enemy. If you say, I have the freedom to become my enemy and kill myself, why are you disturbing me? The answer will be, please go ahead and destroy yourself. If anybody wants to destroy himself or herself, the choice is yours. So the value which you are talking about, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, India is the only country which taught this to the world. And how you can, through self-restraint, achieve the highest glory. Everybody is looking up to India. Why? I asked several foreigners who used to come to India, in this terrible heat they are suffering. Every year they will visit. I said, you are so rich, you are used to air conditioning, why are you coming and suffering here? They said, we have, Swami, we have everything there in USA and UK and Europe, but we do not have men who have completely conquered themselves. They are called, those who have conquered themselves, the Atma Rama. Simply I am sitting quiet and finding so much of joy in myself. I do not depend on anything else for my joy or happiness. I sit and close myself and find so much of joy within. Jivan Muktas. We come every year to see Jivan Muktas. So don't throw the challenge to your parents and to society saying, I will kill myself and destroy myself through smoking, through bad habits, by waking up too late and destroying myself and neglecting my education, and later in life regretting, oh, I should not have done that. When I tell you, many of you may not take it well, but through experience, I constantly keep telling my students, even though they may not like it, because you should listen to this, because to control yourself and restrain your senses, the yogis could contain every limb of their body they could control and show and demonstrate. You should become yogis, you should become full of self-control. You don't have to study much. Once just you browse over it and you know. Swami Vivekananda, he used to read page after page, just browse over, remember everything. It's very simple. You install a photocopier in your brain, a scanner, simply scan the book. Why do you study a book? That is possible because infinite power is the human mind. These are the values that the world has been taught by India, and India has embraced the whole world and willing to give this knowledge to everybody without any cost. We don't charge anything for anything. Unfortunately now, yoga is becoming increasingly commercialized. India, nothing was charged even for education. Education was free because knowledge is too valuable to be sold. And we are welcoming the whole world to partake of this knowledge, and we will receive from the world the knowledge of technology and science. It's a fair exchange. Swami Vivekananda wanted this cultural exchange between the East and the West. We will teach them the great glory of Indian wisdom, and we will learn from them the glory of sciences and technology. In this university, we're bringing up the internalization of education. I'm so happy to have been here. Thank you.
I would like to thank our respected guest, Swamiji, for sharing their valuable time and information with us, which made our program more meaningful and beautiful by their presence.
It's honor to have your presence here, and the token of love reminds you as a memory of this captivating event. Now, we would like to request Mr. Dhruv Marwadi to felicitate our guest, Mr. Panyal Mathia, with a token of love. I again request Mr. Dhruv Marwadi to do felicitation. We would like to request Mr. Fanyol Mathia to get the felicitation. Now again, I request Mr. Dhruv Marwati to do felicitation our guest, Swami Atma Priyananda. Thank you so much, Mr. Dhruv Marwati. Now, moving forward, I intend to invite Ms. Himja Markhat, MBA, President of FMS Student Council, to express wisdom on vote of thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude this remarkable inaugural ceremony for the International Youth Convention 2023, it is both a privilege and an honor to extend our heartfelt gratitude to all the distinguished individuals who have contributed to the great success of this ceremony. First and foremost, I would like to express heartfelt appreciation to our visionary founder, Shri Ketan Bhai Marwadi, and our dedicated co-founder and vice president, Shri Jeetu Bhai Chandarana, for their unwavering commitment and leadership that has paved the way for the success of the university and this convention. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed provost, Professor Dr. Sandeep Sancheti sir, for his guidance and support in steering our institution towards excellence. We thank you, sir, for your presence and an insightful address. Our thanks also goes to Registrar Shri Naresh Jadeja sir for his invaluable contributions and dedication to the university's mission. A special mention is due to the Dean of Faculty of Management Studies, Professor Dr. Sunil Kumar Jakhoria sir, for his insightful opening remarks that set the tone for the convention. Your words have set the stage for a day filled with knowledge and inspiration. We would also like to thank Professor Dr. Vijay Bhujbal sir from Faculty of Management Studies for providing us with an overview of the International Youth Convention 2023. Your brief note helped us understand the significance and objectives of this event. We are deeply honored to have with us Mr. Fanyol Mathia, the Minister, Plenipotentiary Trade Affairs at the High Commission of the United Republic of Tanzania, New Delhi. Your presence emphasized the international significance of this convention, and your inaugural address has inspired us all. A special mention is due to Sri Swami Atma Priyanand, Pro-Chancellor, RMVRI deemed to be University Kolkata, for delivering a keynote address on the role of education in promoting the values of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Your profound insights have left an indelible mark on all of us. Lastly, we extend our heartfelt appreciation to Sri Dhruv Marwadi ji for his presence. Your support and encouragement have been deeply appreciated. We also want to express our sincere gratitude to all the dedicated faculty members and staff who have graced this event with their presence, including administrative and technical staff, as well as numerous student volunteers who have worked tirelessly to make this event a grand success. On behalf of the Faculty of Management Studies and Marwadi University as a whole, I extend our heartfelt thanks to everyone present here today. Your participation and support have been instrumental in the success of this inaugural ceremony. In conclusion, let us carry forward the spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the belief that the world is one family, and continue to work together towards a better and more connected world. Thank you once again, and we look forward to the positive impact that this convention will have on our society and the globe.
And the food stalls behind the main building. I request the faculty members, all the volunteers of faculty for the photograph along with the anchors. Faculties, Chaitali ma'am. Ma'am, please you also join for the photograph. Please come, please come. Volunteers of faculty clubs, various faculty clubs present here. Backstage volunteers, please join for the photograph. आगे चले जाओ, आगे चले जाओ. Photography team, please assist people for a good photograph. Photography team, please assist for a better photograph.